What it is, it's your boy True McFadden, aka Durag Tru, with True Be Talking. And in this video, I'm giving a recap of the month of July and a little bit of August of what we seen in fights and stuff. Hey yo! Hey yo! Hey man, this was a pretty good month, bro. We had some pretty good fights that happened over the month of July. I just want to talk about it a little bit. First off, I want to say congratulations to Alexander Usyk. Hey, the man knocked out Daniel Dubois to keep his title and to remain the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. Hey, that's a bad motherfucker, man. I don't know if you know, bro. That boy Usyk is a bad man. Look, I thought, you know what I'm saying? I thought when he was fighting Tyson Fury, right? Because Tyson Fury is one of them motherfuckers that it's kind of hard to just beat him a couple times, right? I thought that second fight with Tyson Fury was gonna get him up out of there. I thought the Gypsy King was gonna have something for him. He ain't got not a damn thing for that man, bro. And this was Daniel Dubois' second time trying him, and he put him on his ass. You feel me? That boy Usyk is tough, man. He's really tough. I don't know if there's anybody out there that can stop him. The name that I heard brought up that's probably going to be his next match is Joseph Parker. If you remember Joseph Parker, he got that quick knockout on Martin Bakole a few months back. Of course, Martin Bakole was a last-minute stand-in for that fight, but he got him up out of there pretty quick in the first round. But that fight, I think, will probably be one of Usyk's toughest fights, maybe, because Joseph Parker, even though he's heavyweight, he's more of a boxer. I guess he can. I haven't really seen him, his punching power. I have to go back and watch some of his fights because the only thing I saw was Bakole, and I really can't go based off of that. But Parker, from what I've seen from him so far, he's definitely a good fighter. Can get in there, not relying too much on his strength, but a lot on his skill. And I think that's also what Usyk does. Usyk, he's not one of those come in and I'm just gonna knock you the fuck out type boxers. He's definitely gonna get in there and box with you, but when he hits you, you're gonna feel it. You feel me? When he put the motherfucking paws on your ass, you're gonna feel it. That boy Usyk is tough, but definitely ready to see what's next for him. I think he's 38 years old, so we're winding down. Is he gonna end up retiring as undisputed? That remains to be seen, but can't wait to see him back in the ring and see what he does next. The next fight I want to talk about, Tim Tszyu versus Sebastian Fundora. Congratulations, Sebastian Fundora, keeping his title, defending against Tim Tszyu in their second fight. This fight I was a little shocked by, mainly, and I probably shouldn't have been, but I was, mainly because the first time Tszyu and Fundora fought, Tim Tszyu controlled the first 2 rounds of that fight. He looked really good in those first 2 rounds of that fight. It looked like he was probably heading to maybe knocking Fundora out. But at the end of the second round, for anybody that watched the fight knows that at the end of the second round, he caught an elbow from Fundora in the middle of his forehead that caused a cut. And basically he fought from round 3 to the end of the fight with blood in his eyes. Even with that, I think it was a split decision victory from Fundora. Me personally, I felt Tim Tszyu probably could have still won that. I think he still had a little bit of an edge in that fight for the simple fact that he still fought as good as he did. He didn't get knocked out. He didn't get knocked down. He still fought really well with a bunch of blood in his eyes. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that should have been taken into consideration when scoring that first fight. But either way, he lost that one. Then when he came back, I felt like he came back a little too quick against Bakram Murzatov. I think that's how you pronounce his name. Bakram Murtazaliev. Forgive me if I said it wrong. But I felt like he came back a little quick because if you go back and watch that fight, early in like that first round, he was hit with something or he got punched or something, and you saw him check his forehead. He checked to see if he was bleeding. So mentally, he wasn't ready to step back in the ring. He was trying to get back to Fundora because it's like I said, those first 2 rounds, it looked like he was heading to a knockout. But I think that cut, that shook him, especially mentally. I don't think he realized how bad off mentally he was after that fight. but he jumped right back in there and got knocked the fuck out. Then he, I think he had a couple victories after that, and that's what got him back to Fundora for this second fight. But Fundora, he looked spectacular in this one. He was aggressive. Even though Tszyu looked a little timid, he wasn't really stepping forward. At one point, it looked like he couldn't, because Fundora was applying pressure. He's tall as hell. He has that length. He was using all of that to his advantage in this one, and it just seemed basically like he just overwhelmed Tszyu in the end and got the W. And actually ended up stopping him. Tszyu, didn't get off the stool in the 8th round, and that's basically how the fight ended. But again, congratulations to Sebastian Fundora. I'm ready to see what he's going to do next at 154. There's definitely some names out there some big names in 154. There's some killers out there. So yeah, definitely excited to see what's going to happen next for Fundora. I also want to give a shout out to the GOAT, Clarissa Shields. She defended her title against Lainey Daniels. Just a sweep. She whooped her ass all night. And it really, Lainey Daniels in that fight, she definitely was fighting scared at the beginning. I think she would have gave herself a better chance if she would have went on and stepped to Clarissa in the beginning and found that rhythm, felt that power. Because it seems like after a while, after she started stepping in and feeling her power a little bit, she was okay with standing there and exchanging. I feel like if she would have seen that a little earlier, she still would have got her ass kicked. Don't get me wrong, she would have lost the fight, but it would have been a lot better. It would have been a lot better fight for her. I don't think Clarissa would have knocked her out, especially with the movement she was still doing, but she definitely got hit with some good punches and stood in there, stood up to her. So, but at the end of the day, man, Clarissa, one bad motherfucker, boy. I'm trying to tell you, don't know what's going on with her next. She might end up, retiring undefeated whenever she decides to retire, but as of right now, ain't nobody fucking with her. Last fight I want to talk about is Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Oscar Duarte. I know this fight technically happened in August 2nd, but I want to talk about it because I did watch it. This fight was great. It was a really good, really good fight. It was a war. It was a back and forth fight for all 12 rounds. I personally felt it could have been a draw. One of the judges felt how I felt. They called it a draw. And Oscar Duarte, he was, and Kenneth Sims Jr., there was just a back and forth. Pretty much each round, it was a back and forth. It was hard to say like clearly in a lot of those rounds, it was hard to say he had the better round because Oscar would hit Kenneth Sims with some good punches, or good strong punches, and then Sims would hit him with a couple good combinations, probably not as strong as Duarte had, but he was still hitting them, making contact, still getting those punches off, and some of those punches were good punches as well. So to me, it looked like it could have been a draw. I'm not mad at the Oscar Duarte, at the decision for Oscar Duarte. The only thing that kind of threw me off, or where I was like, man, that's crazy, one of the judges scored it 98-92. Like 98-90, like for somebody, nobody got knocked down. You know what I'm saying? Duarte didn't knock him down at all. And I'm talking, man, go back and watch that fight, bro. It's like 12 rounds of they just going at it, bro. Like for real. And to score that 98-92, man, you're watching with your eyes closed, bro. Like you gotta be. Because there's no way one guy seeing it as a draw. 114-114, one guy 115-113. And you come in here with a fucking 98-92? Bitch, how? How? In that fight. But anyway, that's was that. One other thing that came from this fight, not necessarily had to do with the fight itself, but Oscar De La Hoya gave a little insight. Well, not necessarily insight. He was talking about Virgil Ortiz, which I've become a little bit of a Virgil Ortiz fan. I fucks with Virgil at 154. Like I said, I think he's the boogeyman at 154. I don't think nobody really trying to see him too much. But he said Virgil Ortiz, we may be getting him back in the ring in October. He didn't mention an opponent, so not sure, how much you could put into that because, bro, it's fucking August. October's going to be here in no time. But he didn't say anything about an opponent. One opponent that he did mention was Boots. He stated that he would love to see Boots and Virgil Ortiz in February of 26. I doubt we get that fight that fast, for the simple fact that, for one thing, you're saying Virgil Ortiz is going to fight again this year, and that fight, if it happens, is probably going to be November, December before that actually happens. Then Boots has not had his first fight at 154. I think Boots is a pretty smart guy. I think him and Bozy know what the fuck, they kind of know what's going on. I don't think either one of them looking to step into the ring at 154 and have their first fight at 154 to be Virgil Ortiz. That wouldn't be smart. You know what I'm saying? That really wouldn't be the best thing to do. You definitely need to get in there and go move up and get you a tune-up fight. Still something competitive, but I don't think you want it to be that competitive, because that's going from the top of 147 to the top of 154. I don't think Boots is ready for that. I don't think Boots mentally is ready for that. I don't think Boots skill-wise is ready for that. Not against Ortiz. Ortiz, even though he's a big puncher, he's a boxer. He can move with you, he can cut off the ring, he can defend, and he can punch. Pretty much complete boxer, man. So if they make that fight happen, I'm guessing it'll probably be around spring or summertime. He said February. I'm thinking more like April, May, around that time. Spring, April to somewhere, April to August, but somewhere in that timeline is if we're gonna get that fight, that's where we'll see it. That spring to summer to maybe even end of the year, but definitely Boots and Virgil Ortiz for 26. I'm with that shit. Let's make it happen, man. But that's all I have for this one, man. Make sure you subscribe, comment, like. Let me know what you think about the fights that happened over this past month. What you're excited to see coming up. I know it's still some pretty good fights coming up, man. I am ready for Bud versus Canelo. Of course, we're in August. I'll be giving my prediction for that fight over the next coming weeks, and we'll see what's going on, man. But it's your boy True McFadden, aka Durag Tru, and I'm out.